All right, everybody. Today we're going to take a look at the Sig P365. There's a ton of videos out there, and there's a wide range of opinions. Everything from this is complete garbage to it's the greatest carry gun ever. Like a lot of people, I was really excited when it was announced. I thought it was a super cool concept. I wanted to get my hands on it. Then, you know, the videos started coming out, and people were having problems with them early on. Problems with the sights falling out. Problems with, I believe it was the trigger return spring. The firing pin breaking, and then there was other people that were having great luck with them. So, you know, I'm not going to discount anything that anybody said or any experience that anybody had with it. That was their experience. I'm trying to go into this with an open mind. Obviously, that stuff is in the back of my mind. There's no way to hide it. But, you know, I'd given them months and months and months, and I figured, you know, they said they fixed a lot of these problems, so I'm going to give them a shot. And like I said, I had an opportunity to buy one of these really, really early. One of my local gun shops here got one. I was like the first person to walk in when he got it, but because of some of the stuff I had heard, I held off. I didn't want to do it. I did get this one used. It was used unfired. He got one, and then he didn't tell his wife, and his wife ended up getting him one. So anyway, he had to sell one of them, and I got it. Paid $500 for it. Not the greatest deal in the whole world, but a good deal considering what some people are, or what these are going for, you know, secondhand right now. I've seen like $650, $700. So basically what I did is picked it up today and took it to the range. And that's what I'm going to go over. An initial impression. This is not a 5,000 round review. It's simply an initial impression. Box, case, actually quite nice. Yeah, I really like it, actually. It's the right size for the gun, which is nice. A lot of the times you'll see, you know, a company uses one case for every single gun, and sometimes you get this little itty-bitty tiny gun in this huge case, or you'll get a huge gun. You can barely fit all the crap in it. This one's actually made well for the gun. So, you know, you're paying a premium price. Why not get, you know, at least a close to premium case? So what it comes with under here is, you know, the lock, the range flag, propaganda, instruction manual, but you know, we don't read those really. I'm just kidding. Read your owner's manual. I just chose not to ever. And you also get the flush 10 round magazine, as well as the pinky extension 10 round magazine, and the pistol. And go ahead and put this away. So as with the other guns on this table, they have been safety checked multiple times, cleared and safe in a safe direction. I'm the only one in the house. So what is it about the P365? You know, it's kind of one of those things, I think everybody really, whether you're a Sig fanboy or not, I think everybody really wanted this thing to be awesome. And when you have such high hopes for something like this, and there are problems out of the gate, I think it exacerbates the problems, because you had such high hopes. This wasn't like something that kind of snuck up on people. I'm not trying to knock any certain types of guns, but let's say the Rex 01. That thing straight up snuck up in people. Nobody was out there looking for it like, oh, I can't wait till the Rex 01 came. Mac did a test, it performed flawlessly, and people got interested in it. So I think something like this that you're super excited about, the problems are really going to be, I'm not going to say blown out of proportion, but they're going to be put out there. That's for darn sure. In this video, I'm not going to second guess anybody else's opinions or experiences. I don't for 1 second doubt that those guys had issues with them, which is why I didn't buy one for, you know, 7, 8 months, whatever it was when this was manufactured, June 27th. So I did want to wait till they give them some time to work out the bugs. So now that that's behind us, what did I take to the range? I had this, my daily carry, Glock 43. Amongst a couple others, but you know, this one's the main daily carry. And Glock 19X, which has nothing to do with either of these and is a terrible example to compare it to, so I don't have it. Glock 43 cleared. So, I guess the biggest thing about this, why everybody was so excited, was size and capacity. I know a lot of people, this is duplicate information, so I'll go through it kind of quick. But basically what you're looking at here is a smaller gun, you see there. All right, shorter, pretty much the same thickness. I'm not going to bust out calipers, but to the eye. And then height with this, this is the Glock extension. It's not aftermarket. but it's actually a little bit short. That's the third
short.
time somebody called me in the video, so I'm not going to reshoot it. We'll just have to blend them together. Anyway, and the thickness of the grip, the 365's a little bit thicker, but I mean, not a lot. It's not really a big difference. So the question is, how is my Glock carrying 6+1 rounds, and this is carrying 10+1? The answer is, I don't really know, honestly. What I kind of gather from looking at it on this double stack magazine, if you compare it to the Glock magazine, the single stack. Now Glocks are polymer, so they tend to be a little thicker than metal magazines. You can see it's obviously a thicker magazine. When you put them, it looks much more so like this. When you put them like this, let me hold it flush here. Okay, I got it flush on one side. You see there's a difference, but it's not major. Not a major difference. And then this is an APX compact magazine, so it's just more of a true double stack like we're used to. Naked eye, you can't really tell much of a difference. When you put them together and you flush them up, let me put it this way so you can see the lip. There is a difference, but it's not major. So I don't necessarily think that the magic is in the magazine. A lot of people, or a lot of, what people speculate is it was the magazine, they put all these patents on it, which I'm sure they did, and it was this magical magazine. It's not really a lot thinner than my Beretta magazine, but it's, thinner than the Glock, obviously. And the grip, I'd seen a video where somebody was squeezing these, and they were cheap. Oh, they're cheap, they're gonna break. I mean, it's got about as much flex as the Glock 43. And not to mention when the magazine's in here, there's metal behind it. There's a metal magazine. So it's just drama. Oh my God, it's drama. Who gives a rat's patootie if this is a smidge thinner? It's perfectly fine. It's no way do I feel this and think it's cheap. So what we have here is a little bit thinner polymer, I believe, again, no calipers, and a little bit thinner magazine. So then when I start thinking about it, I'm like, well, hell, you got a minor difference here and a minor difference here, and then it kind of comes out to be a major difference. So, I don't know. Beats the hell out of me. But anyway, they made it work. So when I was at the range with these two, what was my takeaways? They both shot great. Of course, I didn't have any malfunctions through either one. I used 115 grain Federal, and also some Fort Scott that I had. I'm a big fan of Fort Scott ammo. Make a long story short, I was not influenced by these 50 million videos online like I am on most other things. One of my local gun stores over a year ago got in some of this stuff called Fort Scott and 380. I went in there for some 380 defense ammo. He said, hey, check this out. It's kind of a little bit boutique ammo, but the salesman came in and, was letting me try it out, so he, sold it to me. So I was hooked on it. I used it. I thought it was awesome. Not just because of the shape or anything, but just the way it fired. It's kind of an experience. You have to shoot it to know. It's really loud, but doesn't recoil a lot, probably due to bullet weight. So long story short, I kind of fell in love with it. I've been using it ever since. And when I was looking for it, there was literally nothing on the internet. I couldn't find any damn videos. All I found was a Fort Scott 10-second video of a slow motion in a gel test. But anyway, long story short, that's my favorite carry ammo. So I did have some from the 43 I took out and used in here, and also the Federal that I had. That day I had about I shot about 170 rounds. Majority of them from this, probably 120, 125 or so. I don't do strict round counts because I shoot randomly. A lot of times, I have a range close to my house, and then, another one I have a membership to that's a little further away. I may go shoot for lunch. I may shoot 100 rounds one day. One day I may go and shoot 250. I'm not a 500 round a day at the range guy. I have some hand issues with carpal tunnel and tendonitis and stuff like that. So I don't typically stay too long, but I make more trips to make up for it, at least as much as I can afford the ammo. So basically, I don't enjoy going and shooting 500 rounds, so I'm not going to. I put what I put through it. I had great luck. It shot well. It was not a good day at the range for me. You know how that is. We all have good and bad. I was kind of a little all over the place. But at the end, just to give you an example of what the gun is capable of in my hands, at 7 yards, the last string I shot, one 10-round magazine. I paid a little closer attention, and that's at 7 yards. Of course, I did have, you know, a couple little flyers. But I mean, this barrel is like 3/4 of an inch long. So, you know, anyway, that's not too bad, certainly, with a small gun for me, because I don't shoot them a whole ton. Just enough to keep proficient with them. So the gun's certainly capable. There's no doubt about that. Ejection pattern was great. I know one of the other issues was the striker drag. So I did, because I was the only one shooting, remarkably, track down some of the ammo, or casings, I should say. I don't know how well this is going to show up, like everybody says, but I'm going to show you this one. This is a 43. Come on. That's a little better. So that's a Glock 43. See, I'm putting it right here. Oop. Here's another 43. It's just not loving this camera's, you know, it's an iPhone. It's not a Canon. So anyway, the Glock 43s had no striker drag. I'm going to grab a couple of the 365s. This is a futile attempt here to get this thing to zoom. Luckily, the new iPhone 25X they're releasing has probably the same camera. Frustration. Okay, there it goes. So you can see a little bit of primer drag for sure. It's not going all the way to the edge of the case. I really wish I could get this on camera better so I could show you. It's right there a little bit. Just there a little bit. Is that a big deal? I don't know. I mean, I could see how people would think it would be a big deal. I could see how it wouldn't be. I'm just kind of telling you what I saw. So anyway, the Glock 43 didn't have it. The Sig did. I've seen videos where people had all kinds of guns that do have them, and some don't. I really don't know. I don't, honestly, to God, this is the first time I ever picked up brass to look at strikers, whether they're dragging or not, so I just don't know a whole hell of a lot about it. Anyway, that's how it is compared size-wise to the 43. So just a couple others just to show you. This is a Sig P365, also empty, 380. Best 380 I've ever shot. They're proud of it. It's not cheap, but I think it's pretty damn awesome, honestly. So this is a 238 380. I'm going to put in the flush magazine for these size comparisons. And this is the smallest gun I have. You know, it's a tiny gun. This thing is tiny, tiny. Like front pocket in your shirt tiny. But, you know, when you include the beaver tail, not a whole lot of difference. Thickness, Glock. Sig's a little bit thicker. Oh, this Sig, not this Sig, but this Sig. And grips, pretty darn close. Pretty darn close. And this, of course, is more a little bit patterned after a 1911 style with the safeties. It's not a 1911, I understand that, but kind of patterned after it. And this one is a single stack 380. Now, it does have larger grips on it because it does have the wraparound rubber grips. So, you know, I don't want to compare that too much. I don't have the 938, which would be probably a little bit better comparison. And then a Ruger LCR. Again, just kind of looking at size for carry. You know, not a whole lot of difference. This is the other gun I like to carry a lot. Just not a lot of difference, other than capacity. 510, 510, 510. So there's a difference there. And then the APX, which I absolutely love, but it's just a little bit big for me on carry. Maybe when it cools off here in Florida in this late December, January, and I can wear a windbreaker, I'll think I'll wear this one more because I absolutely love it. I love the APX line. But, you know, it's not even close. Now, holding these in my hand, it's almost comical. It's like this gun could fit inside this one. This is a 13 round. This is a 10. Goddamn, I bet it could probably fit inside of it. So anyway, you know, this is a gun for me. It's bigger. It's heavier. It feels like you're holding a gun. It is a little bit easier to shoot. A little easier to get back on target. I would feel comfortable putting thousands and thousands and thousands of rounds through this without ever thinking twice. Now, even with the Glock 43, I know that I'm sure there's tons of guns out there that have thousands upon thousands and thousands of rounds. I'm never going to put that much through it because, like I said, it's a single stack. I do shoot it more than enough to keep up with it, but it's not really a range gun for me. I'm not going to go out and, you know, shoot 200 something rounds through it regularly. I'm just not. And frankly, it's a smaller gun. It's got the same amount of pressure, but a smaller gun. I'm not an engineer, but I just feel more comfortable with the big ones. I'm like, I know, I'm not going to have to worry about it. I can put trillions of rounds through it. It'll be fine. But I still do check them out every time I clean them. So with the Sig, I took it, brought it back, cleaned it, opened it. Everything looked good. To take it down, eject the magazine, lock the slide to the rear, rotate that down, release, and pull. It gets a little hung up there a little bit. This is kind of a pain in the ass, honestly. If I had one complaint about it, it would be this takedown. It's really bizarre. So when I first got it, like I said, I don't read instruction manuals because I like to make my life difficult. I got here, and I was ready to put it together, and I thought, this thing will not come down. It will not come down, will not come down, will not come down. You have to push up, and the only reason I found this out is I popped the pin and pulled the chassis, which takes about 3 seconds, by the way, and the whole chassis does come out. Just this little pin here, just punch it out, and pull back, pull out, all comes through. But it won't go. If you lift up on the slide release, it will go. Now, it's under spring tension there, as you can see. So I just leave my thumb there. Anyway, that kind of got me for a little bit. Recoil spring, barrel. Again, you can't really see much in mine, but I'm looking where some guys had some peening. It looks like there was a little bit of machining down there. Probably one of the issues they took care of, took a little material off of it. But inside looks good. Perfectly normal wear from everything else I've ever seen. Barrel in, recoil spring. What the hell? Let's see if I can do it real quick. I don't have my hammer here, so. Nah, I need the little hammer. I'm not going to go get it. So, again, I was like, oh, time to put it on. Oh, this damn thing. So, push up, pull down, hold it there. Line it up. Lock it back. Close it, and you're good. So, and even taking it down, like I said, when you rotate, it always gets hung up right about there. And you just give it a little wank, and it comes off. And then again, see, it pops up. It's not a huge deal, but it's just kind of obnoxious. So, anyway, now it's put back together. So, like I said, I didn't see any abnormal wear. I've compared it to a couple other guns at size. This is an initial impression. My initial impression is actually that I love it. I love the fact that it can hold 10+1. I think that's crazy. Like I said, I'll probably be dreaming about it at night trying to figure it out. When you get it in your hands, you really get an appreciation for it when you're shooting it versus a 43 and you see the capacity difference and the size comparisons. How's it going to hold up over time? I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm never going to put 5,000 rounds through it. It's never going to happen. I just have too many other guns I like to shoot. What are my intentions for this gun? Carry it? Yeah, sure. After I get a certain amount of rounds to it, and I'll keep up with the internet like everybody else. See if these problems keep coming about. I think Matt got another gun. I don't know if he's going to do a test on it or not. But right now I got it to kind of keep in my little tablet bag. You know, it's a 511. I'll do a review on it. It's actually pretty cool. But right now I'm carrying my APX in it. And it's just a little bit thick, a lot, you know, it's heavy, and I don't like my tablet and everything else sitting here with this big chunker munker in there. I'll find another job for this because I like it as much as my other APXs. So I'll probably use this for that. I think it's kind of perfect for the role, honestly. Sights does come with night sights with the green high vis. They're good. They're awesome. I'm glad that they come with it. The mirror glows are better. They pick up. My eye picks up easier on them. Does have the proprietary rail with Sig. They're going to come out with, I'm sure, lights and lasers. I have absolutely no issue with this. A lot of people I heard bitching that it wasn't a Picatinny rail. Frankly, if it was a Picatinny rail, you probably couldn't fit anything on it anyway. I mean, the APX, which is longer here, there's a bunch of stuff that I have that doesn't fit this because there's just simply not enough room here. So with this, I don't think you'd had much luck anyway. So I don't have a problem with that. It's much better than nothing. I'm fine with them putting it on. I think it's great. I don't, like I said, Glock 43 doesn't have one. Am I going to put a light on a tiny little micro carry? Probably not. But who knows? Maybe. So anyway, that's kind of my introduction to the 365. If anything comes up, I'll give an update. Or if anybody wants an update, put it down below, and I'll give one maybe when I hit like 500 rounds. I'll try to put a couple hundred through it pretty early just to see what I think. Take it apart, take the firing pin out, take a look at everything, see how I feel. And if I'm comfortable, then it'll go in my laptop bag. So anyway, if you have any questions, leave them down below. I appreciate everybody watching, and have a good night.